Had a chance to look over the film. What did you, I guess, come away with the Missouri game? I guess, how would you grade yourself?
Not only myself, but as a team, we just got to start faster. And we had good field position for most of the night, especially in the first half. So when we have field position like that, we got to do a better job of putting the ball in the end zone instead of settling for field goals. So that's something that's a point of emphasis. It's always been a point of emphasis, but we'll definitely improve on that going forward.
After having a couple of games where you're just, playing lights out and it wasn't as good as the last two games, is it easy for you to just kind of shake it off and go back to work, or does that hang around with you at all?
We still did good things out there. It's not like we played bad all game. We were still had explosive plays. We still moved the ball well. We just didn't finish. So as an offense, our heads are up. We're still excited. We're still excited for the next game. We know we can put up points and move the ball on any defense. So we're excited to show what we got this Saturday.
Coach, I think it was early in the second half. You guys had put a couple of pretty good plays together. There was a false start, and you kind of spiked the ball down. It was probably a little bit more emotion than we've seen from you. Were you frustrated at that moment, or was it just kind of?
Oh no! When you play in the SEC, you can't really hear the whistle. So some guys like to take cheap shots. So I wanted to make sure that the whistle blew. But outside of that, I just got to use my voice better when we're kneeling, so the linemen can hear me. I'm going through the cadence.
I understand Derek Mason recruited you to Stanford. Did you guys have a pretty good relationship?
Yeah, through recruiting, you form relationships with coaches from a lot of schools, and so I got to know Coach Mason very well. I was at Stanford with Coach Shaw, so I haven't talked to him since, but we did have a good relationship through recruiting.
What do you remember about him? Basically, what do you remember about him?
He was a defensive coach, obviously. He was the defensive coordinator at Stanford before he came over to Vandy. And then I knew he got the job at Vandy, but I haven't had any contact with him.
Josh, how big would it be for you guys, this offense as a whole, to kind of move into the next phase of whether this season or whatever with a great offensive showing on Saturday?
It'll be exciting. Every time we step on the field, we try to have a great performance and show what we got. So we're excited to brush off last week's loss and get back out on the field and compete again and show what we can do on offense.
What was it about Missouri's defense that shut down the scrambles and the quarterback runs?
As we knew coming into the game, they were very stout up front. So they did a lot of things with twists and movements that obviously generated some pressure on us. So we just got to fix that up front and with our communication and understanding our fronts and protections. And that's something that we've been doing over the past couple of days.
Derek Mason was referring to Tennessee as the team out east, not referring to y'all by name. Is that something? Get any reaction to that one way or the other?
This is actually the first time hearing that, and I'm not really bothered by it and don't really care.
Josh, it seems like you guys didn't lose a whole lot of confidence from that game Saturday night. Is it easier to come back when maybe you don't play as well as you know you can as an offense?
It's always easy to come back. We talk about snap and clear mentality, positive or negative, positive game, negative game, positive play, negative play, snap and clear, because what you did on the last play or last game won't affect the outcome of the next game. So we just got to come out, continue to prepare, continue to get ready for Saturday. We have a big game ahead of us with Vanderbilt, a big rival, so we're excited.
Josh, I know obviously as a quarterback there's a lot of, just being straight up business with things, but can you get a sense from some of the guys from Nashville on this team how important this game is to them?
They're excited. I've got the sense from them that every game is important. This is another SEC opponent, another game where our dreams, goals, and aspirations are on the line, and we need to take advantage of the opportunity. They're excited to obviously go home and play, being closer to Nashville. So they're excited, and the whole team is excited.
Josh, on their defense, they've had a couple games where on film they've not looked very good. They've had a couple games where they've played pretty well on defense. What have you seen from those guys?
They give various looks. They do a lot of different things up front and in their secondary. So it's a lot to prepare for with their various fronts, their various coverages. So we got to take that all into account when we're preparing for them.
Josh, what was Missouri doing to you guys to kind of limit how many times you could target the tight end?
As we saw, the tight end was in protection a couple times, so sometimes they just weren't getting out en route, so we couldn't target them because they're blocking. So that wasn't really something that they were doing. That was just our play calling as a coaching staff. So it just depends on the play and what read they are in the progression, whether or not they're getting targeted or not.
Do you like having those guys where they are in passing situations more because it's kind of like a safety blanket for you?
Our tight ends do a lot of good things, so I can't really say I like them passing or blocking because either one I know they're going to do a good job when they're blocking. They've protected me very well throughout the season, and then when they're out on pass routes, they've done a great job making plays. So whichever one they're in, they always do a good job of executing whatever they have to do on that play.
As a guy from the Atlanta area now in Tennessee, what was your initial reaction to the Eric Berry news?
One, as we all were, I was shocked. I've been praying for their family. Of course, with Evan and Elliott, I've been discussing with them and just praying for them and praying for Eric. So we wish him a speedy recovery, and we hope for the best for him.
Have you spent much time with Eric at all over the years?
I've met Eric a couple times, obviously being from Tennessee, because when you come to Tennessee, you're a VFL, and we know he's come back a lot. So I've met him several times, and I'm pretty close with Evan and Elliott, so I definitely know the family pretty well.
What do you think about Eric as a person?
He's a great person, and he shows that. He's a high-character guy. On and off the field. I know he does a lot of stuff around the community with his youth camps back in Georgia and here in Knoxville. So very high character guy, and definitely a guy we're happy to, that came from Tennessee, and it's always great having him back here.
Josh, does it get stressful at all to manage your homework with finals upcoming, and maybe the holiday weekend this week along with a big game coming up?
I wouldn't say stressful. Luckily this week, obviously Thanksgiving break, we have some time off. So I'm able to just focus in on football and get ready for the game rather than having to study and focus on football. So this week's a little slower.
Are your folks going to come into town, to get Thanksgiving dinner with you or anything like that? Any plans for the holiday?
Most likely. I've never not seen my family for a holiday, so they'll definitely be in town for dinner, and I'm looking forward to seeing them.